Kelly, please call the roll.
Mayor Randy Burke.
Here.
Commissioner King Gaspar.
Here.
Commissioner Darren Davina.
Here. All right, well, everyone, please stand as you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we've got one item on the agenda, and then we'll go into closed session. This is all about the budget. It's the first time we've really reconciled the numbers. I appreciate all the hard work you've done and making you, what, you've been on the job about 100 hours now?
Yep.
All right, great job.
Yep.
We'll let you know how well your first 100 hours went. Okay, I've got a letter in front of me dated 3rd March 2024, and this is the letter from the administrator to the council last year. And I just want to point out, I don't think this is any secret, is expected revenues were 50 million, and then the planned spending for this budget was 57.8, I think, somewhere in there. So we knew that we were going to get into cash reserves, and my guess is we've probably done that.
Yes, you have.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to turn it over to who's presenting.
I'm going to start, and then Ms. Phipps will take over from there. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. The fiscal year 25-26 budget oversight process was begun by Jeff Hancock, the interim city administrator, and Sandra Phipps, our director of finance. I do want to just pause and say, prior to coming to Monett, I'd heard reputation that there's a great staff here, and that's been confirmed. It's a great staff. I've enjoyed these few days working and getting to know them. They've been very diligent to help us with this budget, so I appreciate that. I was able to attend the department head budget hearings on February 20th, and again, the staff represented their departments and presented needs. It wasn't just wants, it was really needs for the city. And we understand that, but not everything can be met in this budget. The department heads then held additional meetings with the finance director following the budget hearing meeting, and they prioritized what was on that original budget hearing list. And so they've worked with the finance director to prioritize those items, and they are reflected in the budget. So what you'll see today, they'll be reflected in there. The prioritized needs. In addition, the department heads oversee their operational side of their budget. The personnel cost has been a number has been plugged in at 2.5% for a COLA across the board with all staff. Officially, my date of hire was Monday, March 3rd, and so focused on the budget prior to my arrival, but this week we've really been concentrating on the budget. I will say that this is a deficit budget that we're going to be presenting to you, that Ms. Phipps and I have worked diligently, and I'll more so her than me. We did reduce the deficit, and it still is a deficit, but it's more manageable, in my opinion. I don't ever want to enter into a deficit budget, but that's what we have right now. Ms. Phipps and I also met with Commissioner Indovina. We sat down with him because he oversees the budget portion as the commission, is my understanding, and so we sat down with him and worked through the numbers as well. And that's when we discovered some of those other items. So we appreciate his input into this budget process. The budget that we are presenting, as I've said, is a deficit budget. So the projections on those have been reduced, but it is still a deficit. Ms. Phipps has done an excellent job with that, as I've said. Anytime you inherit a budget, it's always a transition process. So Ms. Phipps has been here since November of last year, which you're the tenured budget representative since I've been here 5 days. So
There's that pass.
there it is. So, but anytime you inherit a budget, there's always understanding the process and the procedures, the analysis, what's been analyzed, those kinds of things, and we're doing that. I can guarantee you that we will have our own processes in place. Not that we're going to change everything, but by next year. So at the conclusion of the presentation that Ms. Phipps is going to do to walk you through the budget, there are some steps that I would like to come back to the mayor and the commissioners and talk to you through about some things that will impact this budget. So, Ms. Phipps, with that being said, if you're ready to walk them through the departments, we're ready.
Okay. We're going to start off with the general fund, which is the governmental activities of the city. They all basically run off taxes. They bring in very little of their own income. So you'll see that they're all in the deficit except the admin, but that is where the taxes hit. I can't get it to go up there. That they go in there, but it hits all these general fund accounts. Police and fire are very expensive to keep, so they are a big part of it, but they have a lot of equipment that is very expensive. There's
All right,
just
so we get 24, 25, that's the year we're in.
this is our proposed right here.
That's proposed,
Yeah.
and the 12 month is where we think we're gonna be at the end of this fiscal year.
Yes.
On April, okay.
Yes. Yeah. So that's your general. Some of them have no income at all, and the others have very little. Airport's in there also. So that's where you're going to see the biggest part of the deficit, is in your general funds.
Okay,
So the water funds, Skip did his own. He did the water, the electric, the sewer. He is planning on using some cash, but he is putting in water meters. And the same with his electric. He's doing electric meters, I believe, through the whole town. Okay.
Yeah, the water meters will go on commercial and residential, and not only will it be a labor savings, it'll be a more efficiency in how we read, and it'll be better customer service for leak detection and those kinds of things. So it's a good addition to the city.
that's all, you can do that all remote? Okay.
And this is reflective of the rate increases that we're projecting? It is
No.
not.
They have not been approved, so they are not in this budget. You will see sewer up is quite a bit, but he has got a loan he has applied for.
This is
What's-
a project he's been working on for a while.
Okay, sorry to back up. What's our long-term low interest rate? What debt do we have right now?
That's down at the bottom.
Okay, all right.
And I'm meeting with the auditor today to get more clarity on that, because I haven't got to really get with the banks and stuff. I believe, I don't want to throw a number out there, I'd have to get back to you on that.
Okay, all right.
But on the sewer, that is a loan, those rates are not in here because they have not been approved.
Okay.
Sanitation, you know, they make good revenue, but their trucks are also very expensive to operate. Your mechanic fund is totally funded from within the city. Their only revenue is from other departments paying them to work on vehicles.
Okay.
Use tax, you see a deficit there, but we did tag 200,000 in there for Chapel Drive in case needed. Hope not to have to use it.
Okay.
Then you've got your equipment revenues, just fleet management, your lease vehicles go through there.
So are we're talking about cars and trucks, is that what we're talking
On
about?
fleet, yes, they transfer money in there. I reached out to Chris and haven't got an answer back from him as to what his plan was for that. But money gets transferred in there, but the lease items are paid for out of that also. They transfers in from each department. Your transportation tax has several big projects that are in process right now. And then the park tax, that's what we're estimating that will come in, and it's got Dave's request for his parks in that line for expenses.
Is this new project you're talking about, or is it just South Park? Is that the new one you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Airport improvements, that's your new hangar right there. And here is your debt service lines. And then we get down to your totals for the year.
Explain debt service to me. Never mind, I got it, right.
This is what we project as ending.
Okay, so we're going up from 21 to 22, okay. Okay.
Do you all want to look at the departments within the general funds? Department by department?
Think we should?
You can, yeah, let's scroll back up and,
Do you want the breakdown of them, or
Yeah,
just the
right there,
summary?
yeah.
You want the breakdown of them?
yeah, just that right there. No, not the oversight, yeah, the budget summary.
The summary, okay.
Yeah.
OCA is in the, I see the 347, what does that mean?
That's what they're gonna use
loss.
above what we think the revenue will be. See the revenue line
The
to
expenses
the expense
exceed
line.
revenue.
This line right here takes your expenses out of your revenue and tells you what you think you will get.
Okay.
And so all these lower funds draw off of the revenue and admin. That's where you get down and you get your total general down here. For your general funds, that's all your revenues in your general funds together, all your expenses in your general funds together, and what the difference between them will be.
And so as most cities, we just need more commercial revenue. That's kind of your key. As you all know, Monett doesn't do property tax, so. And we're watching the trends on sales tax as well. We're tracking that, and we'll track it this year.
Has it gone up or down, or kind of the same?
It depends on which tax you're looking at. It's the sales tax is kind of trending down on itself, but the use tax still tends to grow. So it just depends on which tax you're looking at.
And use tax is associated with online purchasing and those kinds of things. So pretty much use tax, the cities that have use tax across the state, they're seeing a trend up in that, obviously. More online purchases.
What we've learned from Murray Bischoff's reporting is that some, even brick and mortar locations, the sales tax that they're collecting is actually being categorized as use tax. I think it was either Walmart or Lowe's, one of those two. As soon as we instituted the use tax, it's not being reported to the state or by the state as sales tax. It's being reported as use tax.
Right. That would make
So that's
sense.
why you would see a downward trend in sales tax and an upward trend, an opposite
Yes.
in use tax. So it's going to take a couple of years for us to really get good trending data.
Yep, I would agree. Okay, any other questions about what we're presenting at the bottom line? There is a 1.9 deficit, as you'll see in the general fund. I will say that started out, I think, 2.7,
Yeah.
and then we got it to 2.5, and this is the number we're presenting at 1.9.
So am I understanding correctly that the capital expenses are in the budget?
That is
Yeah,
correct.
like
What
what
you
you see on
have
the-
there, that was worked out with Ms. Phipps and the department heads. That's not that complete list that you heard at the budget hearing.
Right.
These are the prioritized items.
Right, right.
And they're in there. Any other questions?
This is kind of is the maintenance program for the 1.5 million, is that in here?
No. That we really honestly can't start that until Chapel Drive and Central are done.
Yeah, I see.
Because it's a large expense. It's going to use virtually all of the transportation tax dollars, and then it'll take some from general to actually complete it.
Yeah, Kevin, when do we think we can start that? I mean, I know we got yeah, when do we think we can start that?
July, August. something like that.
July, August? And that, we got the last easement yesterday, so, okay, good.
Typical me, I'm going to have a lot of questions. I'm seeing this for the first time, right? Is there any chance I can get some of this electronically?
Yes.
I want to see percentage of changes from year to year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think any questions that you all have between now and scheduled voting on this March 13th.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah, please come in
Yeah.
and
Well-
sit down with us.
Yeah, of course, I want to look at it as well.
Yeah.
I like the percentage increase or decrease. That's valuable. I can kind of do it in my head, but are we expecting to do, I think we do the first reading on next week.
Well, the budget goes into effect March or April 1, so you'll have to do.
First and second?
Yes. And I know that's not a good practice. I don't like that practice, but I think on this instance, you need to do first and second.
Okay.
And again, we're not a year from now, but I can guarantee a year from now, the process and all will be smoother.
So we're projecting a 1.9 million deficit spend, but yet our reserves are increasing. Do we know where most of that is coming? Is that in utilities?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, our enterprise funds
I
are
see.
strong.
Yep, electric. But electric, it's only $500,000-ish. The
So-
sewer is the big.
I'm
big
gonna
difference.
share some of the steps that are gonna help this budget, possibly.
Okay.
The council is gonna vote on a rate increase, which is not reflected in this budget. So that, if you all pass the rate increase that you discussed at your last work session, that will help. The compensation study is not reflected here, so we've got meetings that, with that. So that needs to be addressed pretty quickly with council, because that, obviously, any time that a compensation study is introduced to staff, makes staff eager to hear what the result of that's gonna be. So that, we're working on that. We've got meetings scheduled next week concerning that, and we'll continue to move forward on that. Just the monitoring of the budget. Anytime you pass a deficit budget, you want to monitor and you want to have communications and high accountability. So obviously, we'll be working with the staff on that area of concern. As we've said multiple times, the capital items that the department heads prioritized are in this budget, but staff will be informed they can't go out April 1, April 2, April 3 and just start making purchases. We've got to watch cash flow and see where we're at with everything and just monitor the budget. I want to assure the staff that's not micromanagement. That's just managing a deficit budget, and I hope you hear me say that. And then, strong commissioner accountability, staff with the commission, and just where we're at with everything. So that's why we're presenting a deficit budget, believing that we can do some monitoring with it.
The water and sewer rate increase or lack of an increase won't affect the general fund side of the budget.
No.
Okay. So the 1.9 is really going to be affected by some of what is in the capital spend.
That is correct. And if there's, yeah,
So on fire, we have a Pierce Rescue pumper. Is that an actual FY26 spend of the 650, or is that deferred spend?
There to go.
it's fire.
It'll be in this budget, will it not? It won't be in this budget? Okay.
That won't, last projected arrival date or pickup date that I saw on that was August of 26.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what was
So
it
that'll be
for?
FY27.
Rescue pump.
Yeah.
Yep. Just see if anything else jumps out at me. It's water, it's its own fund, sewer, sanitation. With sanitation, if you could go back to that one. That one's gonna, it's projected to end at a loss, right?
Yes.
Okay, a much less of a loss. So yeah, we're looking to increase revenue, and that's based on the rate increase that we passed a few months ago. And we're looking for expenses to decline.
Bought a truck this year.
Yeah, I was gonna say that big expenditure was a truck, 240,000, I think.
Yeah,
So,
that was after insurance, right? I think, was that the truck that was involved in an accident? We got an insurance?
No.
No, that was a separate truck?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're hopeful that dump fees don't increase on us like they have in the past.
Yeah, it's just.
I know we don't know.
Don't have any control over it.
Yeah, right. On the recycle side, have we made any better headway in finding buyers for some of our material? I know we had some troubles in the past, right?
We're under that group umbrella with District D, so
Okay. That's who,
we
Sets
have,
up the
we
buyers.
have the best rates that we can get in this area.
okay,
You know what I mean? Cause
Sure.
it's all a juggle with that. You know, some pay higher on one thing, they may not take another thing, you know what I mean? But in the end, we got the best that we got going right now.
okay,
I put in for a grant, we did receive another grant to help us out on the HHW.
okay.
So, we're not gonna incur any expenses there on that. And that's, it's very pricey. Last time we had it done, it was like 23,000. But grant, so it was a wash. So, I don't know how long that's gonna continue, because I think eventually we're gonna run into like, you know what I mean? Hey,
So, in your presentation, you had that machinery, for lack of a better term, that would bag mulch.
yeah,
I don't see that here. Was that not prioritized? Okay. Opposite of that, so because that would be a revenue generator, albeit small, right, incremental.
take a while to
Right,
get
right.
our return on
But-
investment.
Have you done any analysis of the
not that I'm aware of.
mulch and compost sales? Because I think, Dave, you said it best. We almost give it away.
Yeah.
That pricing has been in place for decades. Fair to say?
Not plural, but
Okay.
decade, yes.
Okay.
I don't know about plural.
Yeah, I'm not advocating that we do anything, immediately, but I'd like to see us analyze what those costs are and what revenue we're getting for that material, because it's high demand and
Yeah.
there's machinery involved and there's manpower involved, and so.
And on that subject, do you sell out of all that mulch every year?
Not no more.
Well, the compost, yes.
Nope, not no more. Nope,
No.
nope, because we received that grant and I had all that, I had 15 years worth of wood chips ground up into basically base materials for mulch. Ever since I've done that, we haven't run out. It's for sale year round right now.
Okay.
And hopefully it will continue that way.
I thought we had a time this past year where I thought we were out of compost for a short period of time, maybe.
There may have been a very short period of
Okay.
time just of the cooking part of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I couldn't put that in for processing until we took last year's leaf
Right.
collection, got it through, but
Yeah, but it's high in demand.
we're sitting better than we ever have been.
I know
Good.
compost sells out.
Yeah. Well, it sells well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
But we could do an analysis.
Yeah.
Quick analysis.
All right. I mean, I'm sure I'll have a bunch more questions at some
Yeah.
other time.
This is a work session, so come by anytime.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mr. Mayor, I think that's everything we have unless there's more questions.
So total deficit, so revenues expected to be kind of flat or increasing?
Pretty well flat.
Okay, and where the deficit is the 1.9?
On the general.
For general fund.
General.
Oops. Let's see. See, I've
Yeah.
got them increasing a little bit. I've got the revenue lower than what they were budgeted for last year.
Yeah,
I didn't get wild with it. I'd rather have more revenue surprise me later.
okay, so we didn't get a fire truck in this one?
No,
What-
that truck was ordered,
Yeah,
but
it's
you don't
coming.
pay for it until it arrives.
Is this the ladder truck?
No.
I don't know if it's in there. I haven't seen.
No.
No.
This is the one that he's talking about was in the pipeline.
Okay. George, did your detective and canines get in this one?
I don't know, sir. I'm been told.
No, we brought payroll back down to what is in staff right now and did a COLA.
Okay.
You can pull the fire truck off of there, but it's gonna hit the use tax line, not your general fund.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to study the numbers here.
Okay. Yep. Come in and.
Because I have a lot of questions and I
Okay.
don't wanna take the council's time.
Yep. Yeah.
Obviously-
I don't mind the time. I don't mind the questions. I don't have any questions of my own yet,
Yeah. But, and, you
but I
know,
don't mind the time.
our first budget here on 4 of the people at this table, you've been around for 4 or 5. You know,
4.
so of course, absolutely would love to hear it, you know, the input.
Yeah, I mean, it's, to me, a budget is a budget. I've done corporate budgets for many, many, many years. But usually I have more involvement in that, and not inferring that there's no involvement by me in this. I'm just saying I have better understanding of the corporate budgets because I'm actually having to prepare it. But when I'm just seeing the reports, I don't have backstory on some, so.
Well, I'll remind the commission, the staff is here we serve you.
Yeah.
And if you do have, you're gonna have questions, not if, but when you have questions,
Yeah.
come in and see us and sit down with us, because it's you that have to make an intelligent decision, and you have the votes on March 13th, so let us know how we can assist you. Or department heads, if you need to talk to a department head, let us know.
I'm not excited about this, but
I can tell. I'm reading the room. I don't think there's a lot of excitement.
no
in the
one's
room.
talking. It's a good
Yeah.
time to read.
Yeah.
All right, I'll start firing away. Sales tax projections for revenue. Is it just swag? Don't ask me to define that right now.
I'm glad
Meaning-
you said that because I was getting ready to.
Yeah, meaning, are we just looking at historical data and
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
guess,
Yeah.
right? The state,
That's
there's
all I
no
can do with
economic,
taxes.
there's no economic study that the state puts out to say, hey, the way that the nation is trending, the way we think your state is going to trend, this is what it could impact. This is where retail sales could be.
I'm not familiar with that in the budgets that I've prepared for cities. It's really just based on trends and where you've hit and businesses that you might have in the pipeline that, you know.
Sure. And so Boca, we're seeing a pretty big jump in revenue.
Well, I think that is, and I caught that as I came into the meeting. Their permits are doing real good, but this is an overreach for that.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What exactly is a nuisance reimbursement?
Code violations, right? Grass too tall. Things like that. I'm assuming.
Not safety, okay.
And permits, yeah, we have no. Do we have a known pipeline of construction projects?
I don't.
Okay.
There's a history of what's been purchased so far, and what's forthcoming. There is stuff in the pipeline, absolutely.
So that's what's reflected in here? In the
I don't think the
30,000?
futures pipeline is reflected in this number today, but there are things on the table that are going to hit with proposed permits, I would say is the best way to put it. Yes, so the construction of certain commercial buildings and more is on the table right now. It has not been permitted yet.
But is it
there-
expected to
It
be
is expected,
permitted?
yeah. It is expected. But it's not reflected here yet. Okay.
Yeah, so that's where
But-
I would prefer
but-
it be reflected, but I'm not gonna dictate
Well,
it.
yeah, I don't think it's something they put down until they get a guarantee from a developer.
Yeah, my concern with that would be that, and again, I'm going off my knowledge. Typically, you project these based on historical data because even if you get a subdivision that comes into town, the developer could go bankrupt
Right.
before he even turns dirt or starts, you know, he's projecting 200 homes and he does 30.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
So we like the upside surprise better. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. Municipal court, we don't list any revenue there, and I don't remember why.
They don't have any income at all.
It goes into general fund.
It's all go booked to the general fund,
Have
that's it.
revenue, like we're making money in the court.
Right. Okay, thank you.
That's still.
Because I knew there was revenue.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's still limited by 12% by state law, right?
On minor traffic offenses, yes.
Just on minor traffic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the entire budget though, so it's not,
Our entire budget?
it's based upon the entire budget, so I mean,
Okay.
we don't even come close to hitting that 12% because of the electric income. Thanksgiving. Thank goodness for everybody.
That is not the official stance of the city.
So we don't need to arrest more people, is what you're telling me?
I'm not even gonna respond to that.
On emergency management, we got a big jump there. Is that a new grant opportunity?
So, yeah, we've been awarded a couple grants, and some of that, like the South Park Siren, that project is entirely grant funded. And so, yeah, and I hope to add some additional revenues to that through grants,
Okay.
so.
So the new siren, is it a 100%
Uh-huh.
by the grant?
Correct.
Okay, so it's in both,
It's
we're
yeah,
saying
it becomes a
a wash, right.
Yeah.
So with that, we're seeing a decrease in expenses as compared to the current budget.
Yeah, he requested us put in for an assistant. We pulled that out.
So the assistant position was already in the previous budgets.
Was.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And it's, you're talking about a $4,000 or $5,000 expense.
Yep, okay. That gives me what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Rusty works cheap, huh?
Yeah, actually, he does. Yeah, he would make about what he makes at the county. And I do think that is, redundancy in staffing in something that's 24/7 department is very important when you have basically one person and maybe two, so.
On economic development, remind me the $725,000 expense current fiscal year. I don't remember what that is.
They had Lowe's Lane in there. I pulled that out and put it in transportation tax to get it out of the general.
Okay, so that's
But
just
is it
reflected
taken-
somewhere else.
Yes.
Does that take into account the governor cost share?
It's also in the transportation tax.
Okay.
So is that a budget amendment?
No, that's just in the new budget.
That was an actual expense?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Street stormwater's pretty flat. Street and stormwater is the Central Avenue project modification. So we approved an additional spend of about $100,000 for the study. Is that anticipated to be an FY '26
Supposed to be.
spend? Okay.
That's in your
And that's-
transportation tax.
So
your
that's not in street and stormwater.
No.
So street and stormwater is increasing $400,000.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
What are we spending this year on Central Avenue Improvement Project?
Hold on a minute, let me get,
This
Yes,
new
just a-
budget year,
Yeah.
we'll spend $100,000 on the amendment for sure, and then construction's maybe start and bid it out in November, December.
Okay.
So there won't be maybe 20% of the budget that'll be spent this budget year.
All right, how about the Chapel Road overpass? I mean, that's all in here, right? It's all budgeted for what you
Yeah, it's all-
expected? Okay.
it's all, I've put in there the notes that Kevin's went through and gave me. And this one's your Chapel Drive and what he believes will happen with it.
So MoDOT will give us $250,000 as soon as we have the Chrissy grant approved.
Okay.
And BNSF will give us $250,000 as soon as, and it's reflected in the budget. It will give us income for the project. MoDOT's already paid us $175,000.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then we've got just a hair under $5 million for the whole grant project.
Could I have you go back to the street and stormwater?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ken. Sorry.
Okay, so we're looking at about a $400,000 expense increase year over year. Wages took a decent jump.
Yeah.
Insurance going from 10, that's the deductible, from 10,000 to 0.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Probably not.
Okay.
Where is that streets?
Here's your street maintenance improvement. It's about double what you budgeted last year. Where's the,
The street sweeper.
it would be in the equipment
Okay.
line, I believe.
So with street maintenance and improvements going up? Do you
I'm
know what?
hoping. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah, it looks like it. Should. You know what I mean?
so we don't know, we don't have anything exactly planned, just other than just, we're gonna do more.
No.
We're gonna do what we had before.
That's chip and seal and
General maintenance.
So that's material.
materials, cracks in it, but, you know what I mean? Gone up substantially.
Okay.
There's probably a little bit of wiggle room in there, but you know what I mean? that matches what Monett Special Road District gets. And I don't, if you guys want the breakdown on that again about the, you know, the amount of miles and everything, I can give that to you, but,
No, I'm just,
you know what I mean?
just curious to see why it doubled from
Man,
last.
I'm really deep, like even like on cold mixes and stuff this year. You know, I spent over $30,000 just in cold mix this year. That isn't gonna go down. As the streets deteriorate, that cost goes up.
Sure.
More and more. The tack oil and all the stuff, you know, the emulsion for chip and seal,
Okay.
you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it's a sign of the
No,
economy. you know? It's just
that's
like
what
the-
I'm looking
It's just
for.
exactly like the grocery store.
Yeah, that's
you know
exactly what
I
I'm
mean?
looking for. I
Yeah,
see a
there's
difference
not
of
there's not
100%.
A golden, you know.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I will commend the city that you're looking and you're using chip and seal.
Mhm.
Because major cities are using it because it's a cost savings. Dave is using it, it's good, and it, gives 5 to 7, 10?
Yeah, 7.
About
We
7.
Okay.
shoot for 7 to 10
All right,
is what
yeah.
our goal is.
And man, you can do a lot more lane miles doing chip and seal than you can trying to go full depth or 2-inch mill and fill. So
Okay, I'm good there. Golf has a pretty big expense increase.
We
Is
are
that-
working on the satellite control boxes. The key word there is satellite. We're manual right now, and we may remain manual, so that number may change.
Is that irrigation?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's the total boxes that work from the devices. They can take them home and alter the water. If it's raining, why turn it on, for example, at 9 o'clock at night?
So there are no, okay, so I have an irrigation system at my home and I have a rain sensor. So the
Yeah,
commercial installations don't have that?
This is the satellite, they're controlled, the keyword again, if we remove the satellite and just stay with the control boxes we currently have, we could work timers.
it's a manual. It would be
Manual,
have to be
right.
in manual right now instead of
Right.
yeah.
So that number, I'm not a fan of that number either, so I'm actually working to keep it manual for a while to keep the budget for the golf course, because I am trying to utilize some of the better movement of the course and bring more revenue to it. That's been a goal of mine since we started. The golf course does have its issues with mechanical equipment from time to time because it's used very, very often. You know, and so they're replacing parts. They do a phenomenal job, and through Paul, also helping them out with repair on a lot of this equipment. So they've been using equipment again that's dated and aged and more. So
that difference is really just the capital
Yes.
expense? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
that is their only priority.
May or may not be used.
Right.
Well, last year, I think we were in the hole about $300,000 in the previous year. How are we doing on that?
On the golf,
Yeah.
so far, no change, to be honest. We raised the rates, we changing the labor flow. We're starting to golf a little bit more and put more people on annual memberships. We're trying to increase the annual memberships. We're down last year. We're trying to increase them about 75 people this year at $750 per person times 75 people. If we could get that target, that's a $300,000 change. If we could keep those numbers and golfers on the course, because we had to close the course for a period of time last year, which was a damaging effect to the course and its revenue. And then this time of year with snow, etc., it's been slow January and February. But daylight savings time is this weekend, and I've already got them realizing the fact that we need to start altering their hours to effect and keeping the rates at a $44 per round instead of a twilight or another service.
Are there
that we're
rate
giving
increases
discounts on.
that we talked about, I think, the last work
Yes, sir.
session? Is that reflected in this budget?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Those haven't been passed yet.
I was going to
right?
say, have they been approved? I'm looking. at-
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's coming up on this council meeting.
May
next week.
13th.
Yes,
But
sir.
we went ahead and plugged them in
And I
here?
haven't plugged them in.
Okay.
And as you can tell, I didn't hit it too high, cause he's set to end 110 there, and I only added 10,000. I didn't know the golf course had been shut down during the year either, else I'd have probably hit it
Yeah.
hard.
Half of the course was shut down.
Okay.
And we're projecting a $500,000 loss. That's compared to a budgeted $400,000 loss. So,
Well, we'll see.
yeah.
Your,
Well,
your
depends how
grounds
many people we
maintenance
can get.
citywide is expensive, very, very expensive, but I've talked to everybody, and I don't see any way out of them.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's very proud of all your parks and stuff, and that's where the money's going.
Moving on to pool, there's a projection of 68,700 expense. And I'm trying to remember the contract. This is all with the contract what you have with the YMCA, correct?
Right.
This is for the chemicals and such.
And all I could do on that was estimate it as to what it's did this last year.
Yeah, because it should be a fixed amount, I
I think
thought.
it is, yeah. I think
It
it
is
is.
42.
It is, it's 42.5, Ken.
But
It's
you've
right
got your
across the
repairs,
board.
maintenance, and supplies.
We pay for those.
You take care of the outdoor pool.
Outside, right?
We take care of them after they spend 15,000, then we go in.
Got
It's
it.
in the contract.
Got it. Okay.
The only,
Thank you.
I don't even wanna get into it, but
Okay.
Well, most of that expense, the 42.5, is while talking to YMCA, that has to do with lifeguards. That's the biggest part of that expense.
Chemical- I thought it was
anything
chemicals.
mechanical,
Can't be-
Ken, we
yeah.
take care of.
Yeah.
Anything, grounds,
Yeah.
we did all the canopy work last year.
Okay.
That's why this year I'm hoping, but it's I don't know.
Right.
A single pump goes out, it's an expense, you know what I mean? But there's sorry, we're closing up the rest of the year, that's not an option, you know what I mean? It has to be fixed, so. And I find that very hard to, I just don't know that, you know what I mean?
The city gets no revenue from the pool though, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Y gets it all, along with the concessions.
Is that renegotiable?
Anything's negotiable.
I think we should stick Mickey on it right off, to be honest with you.
I just gave you the chip and seal thing, and now you're coming back.
No, and the mayor
the
can
things you
tell you
get.
when,
Yeah.
when you came in, you put it on hold at one of your first council meetings. You didn't like it, you wanted to look into it.
Yeah, that's when I went out and figured out what are you spending this money on?
Right.
And understood the chemicals. We actually spent $10,000 on the chemical after they paid 15,000?
Yes, sir. Yeah. And I'll just tell you right now, they send me the receipts, okay? So it's all, looks good, here's
Looks
what we
good.
spent. But I can also tell you that their indoor pool runs off exactly the same system as our outdoor pool. So, as to, I'm just throwing it out there. I find that very hard to verify.
I think across the board in the city, not just the Y, but others, there's some agreements that aren't written agreements. They're just verbal agreements or contracts, whatever. All those need to be reviewed. But that's a process, and it takes a little time. So, but we can do that.
I've moved on from general fund stuff. I have a question, Skip. When we approved the latest electric rate increase, did we build in an automatic stepping? We didn't.
Did not.
Okay.
That's the power cost adjustment will take care of us, anything as far as covering costs going forward. But, as things start, wholesale cost gets higher, that PCA will get higher. I mean, there'll come a point here where we need to adjust it.
Right. But the proposed water and sewer rates, we are proposing a 5-year step.
Correct.
Okay.
how much do we pay MPUA?
You mean? just
Well, we
for-
got a contract with them, so I'm just trying to get a feel for the cost.
Yeah, it's, of course, we pay our power bill to them, so that's close
Right
to
here,
20 million.
Yeah.
And then, we have a membership with them that's about 15,000 a year. And then, and part of the billing and everything we send in has got whatever their staff and everything they do for doing our energy scheduling and everything else. So we're looking at around the 20 million area. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I can pull our sheet up that's got all the expenses.
I just need a ballpark figure. Okay.
Going on to the other funds, the health insurance fund, that was our attempt at potentially going self-insured, right? And we have pivoted away from that, I'm assuming.
I didn't put the dollars there. It's still, the health insurance is still coming out of every department. I
Right.
just didn't transfer them to that.
Okay.
I'd like to just see them paid out of the departments.
Okay, so
Yeah,
do we have?
was this part of the discussion with Alice that you all went to? Okay. Okay.
So I'm assuming, we're just gonna leave the 92,000 there, do we wanna spread it out?
I'd leave it
Pro
alone
rata.
for now.
Okay,
Yeah.
Give it a year and see.
okay. And we did get the rebate we have not gotten the rebate yet from last
No.
year's.
That was the question I asked Ryan yesterday. We
Okay.
were anticipating a 6-figure,
Right.
but it's probably going to be more around 90 because December finally hit. We should have it probably by the end of this month.
Got it, okay.
I think we all agreed that we use that to offset some of the costs, increasing costs in healthcare.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's what we get back, and Mickey,
Yep.
if you got a better idea, I'm all ears. But when there are increases in insurance every year, and we use that to kind of offset the cost of the employees.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it in the accounting methodology. If each department has an expense of the insurance premium, when we get this rebate, would we, on a pro rata basis, put those dollars back into those departments?
You could,
Yeah.
You could do that,
or for short term, you can put it into that healthcare fund with
Into
that
that
other
fund.
92,000
Okay.
and figure out from there.
yeah.
That wouldn't be a bad idea. Just build up that reserve. Okay. Okay, use tax, equipment reserve. Going on fleet management, I don't remember what we were doing with the enterprise.
Well, I've got an educated guess, but I
Yeah.
don't have the solid answer.
Has anybody from enterprise reached out to you since you started?
Yeah, we've
Okay.
been through meetings.
Okay,
yeah.
good, okay. 'Cause they've always been very communicative, so.
Yeah, what does that cover? Cars and trucks, the enterprise piece?
Yeah.
So we're
Not
gonna-
all of them, though.
Yeah.
Not all of them. Some of them. And I don't know.
But we're not talking about a new asphalt laying machine or
No.
anything like that?
No, no.
So it's
No,
just cars
that'd be
and
your
trucks?
your
Yeah, that is
equipment
right.
reserve and
Okay,
stuff.
makes sense.
That's right.
It doesn't cover dump trucks either.
Really?
Not heavy equipment, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think they could if you wanted to go that direction, but we've chosen not to.
Yeah, because we
Yeah, used
hold on to them
equipment,
longer.
big stuff.
Okay. So I'm on the capital expense items now, so that's 650. But we don't have totals on here anyway, so no, never mind, okay.
You have totals on the lines, the
For,
first,
for the department?
yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
the first block of yellow, that 954,000, that's all in general.
Okay, gotcha, yep.
The
So,
315 is your new park tax.
so going back to that pumper, is that 650 in here?
It's right here in your use tax.
Okay, so
There's your chapter.
if we
drive.
remove that, am I correct in saying that we're gonna go from a 1.9 deficit to a 1.3? Fair to say?
That's not in your general fund.
Oh, I thought you were saying it wasn't general, I'm sorry.
No, use tax is its own fund.
Right, but this total, this
Oh,
line,
that,
Yeah.
yeah. that's the capital that is tagged in the general fund.
right,
Any items you take from there will come off the general fund.
right, that's what I'm asking, so where,
If you take the golf sprinklers out, it'll come off of that.
right,
He's asking about the $650,000
Oh.
fire
well,
truck that's.
I've got it, it's not added in that number. I've got it up there because it was a fire capital item, but if you'll see the numbers, it's coming out of 2761 account. See the numbers to the left?
right, that's the
That-
GL account number,
Yeah.
right? But
The
it's,
27 is your use tax. No, it is not included in this. That's not included in that, and, George took off that 80,000 for the painting of the Justice Center. They're gonna do that in-house, but that was not in your general fund either. Those are just listed there because
Okay.
that's the departments they were gonna be affecting.
so this 954 is not truly affected in the general fund budget.
It is truly affected in the general fund.
Kind of confused.
Okay, so that is,
Right,
if you,
but I'm sorry. All I'm saying is if you go to the where in the general fund would we see the 650 as an example?
The truck, the fire truck.
the
Yeah.
truck is right here. It's in the use. It's not in the general fund, and it's not in that 954,000. That is only up there in that part because it is part of the fire department's ask.
Okay.
But the 2761 fund is use fund.
Okay.
So it is not added into this cost.
Gotcha.
The
Okay.
fire
So
department and the general fund's only listed for the foam and the imaging cameras in the general fund.
so the 650 and the 80, so the 730
Is not in that
is
954.
not in the 954, which is not okay. So
Exactly.
there is no reduction in
No, you
or
couldn't save
savings.
your general
Okay.
fund that way.
Okay.
And do you have a lead in on the ladder truck that's next or in line maybe this year? Was there some kind of discussion about that? If you could remind me how that went? Something with the ladder truck, you had an opportunity to get a different way of purchasing it?
Instead of a roughly 4-year projected arrival, they've changed they now have a program where you can get one that's basically a stock built truck with options in 12 to 14 months.
That's what it was.
But they're only allocating so many per quarter in the year, depending on the district for that specific manufacturer.
And can I focus on economic development comp plan and hotel study and all that stuff moving forward? If we're gonna build bigger buildings, we'll need bigger ladder trucks. In a
Yeah.
black and white way of saying
I
it.
was wrong. That
It's-
80,000 does
it's-
affect that bottom line.
In my opinion,
This-
with
Yeah.
right now, with a
But I think I've already pulled it off of here. I just didn't.
9-year-old
know
ladder
that.
truck,
Gotcha.
it needs to be replaced. If the city chooses to and is looking at replacing that ladder truck, that would be the perfect time
Correct.
to purchase a longer ladder.
Yeah, because we're looking at 107-foot ladder, what do we have right now?
75.
Okay, and that'll get us to the 4th floor. I think that's what you're talking about,
Right.
Darren.
Well,
If that actually happens, right? I mean, it's all
I
in
mean,
studies.
there's a lot to do with that. I mean,
Right.
it'll reach 75 feet, straight up. You start increasing angle, you're not gonna have that reach. We have to allow for collapse zones in a fire, in a structure fire. So, I mean, then you start limiting, access to the top of the building from there. So, I mean, I just think that it's in the city's best interest if you're looking to look at a longer, especially if you're gonna start building bigger.
Worst
With
case,
roughly the same footprint. I mean,
Right.
you're building it on
Right,
pretty
right.
much the same length chassis,
right.
so.
Worst case scenario, if let's say we had a building that was a 4-story building and we didn't have a ladder truck sufficient, Is there anyone within our mutual aid agreement that does?
Aurora is auto aid with us on, not mutual aid, they're auto aid on commercial structure fires.
Okay.
They have a 75-foot ladder truck also.
Oh, so that would not be any benefit. That would be the same. We'd be in the same position.
I mean,
Okay.
And I think that mutual aid is for commercial fires, big.
Yeah, I didn't know the other terminology, but what I was looking for was, does a neighboring community have a longer ladder that would
That's a
buy
good
us
question.
time?
That's a good question.
You know, so that we don't prevent a 4-story building from being developed in the city. So, okay, I defense rests.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I'm probably the prosecution, right?
I felt like it.
I'm sorry.
Well, you got more questions, Ken?
I don't.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
I got a question about the water. Skip, maybe help me with this. The radio system, the upgrade on that. We had the budget meeting at the casino a month ago. Was this? I forget who was involved in this conversation, but there's old outgrown radios, new incoming radios that can be used in another department. No, that's out.
Already taken care of, sir.
Already taken care of.
Yeah, this is a different deal than that. Yeah. Yeah, Chief, we got some handhelds from him, but
Good,
this is a
good.
base radio setup. Yeah, for water and electric. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I would point out, I was talking to Kevin here on Central. I didn't budget anything for Central this year, so that may be something we'll have to come back and I'll get with Mickey and work on, but
Budget adjustment.
well, I mean, everything was up in the air.
I know.
You
I
know,
get it.
and you know, that's gonna be $300,000 or $400,000.
But that's a good point. Even if everything went well, according to new plan, it probably wouldn't happen in fiscal year 26 anyway, would it?
There's a lot of utility work to be done out there.
Prior?
And not just us. Yeah. There's gas, there's AT&T, yeah, and ours is gonna be a fairly good project through there. It's not gonna be a 1-month deal.
But in FY 26, yeah?
I think that would
Yeah.
probably be a more
Okay.
realistic.
Okay.
I mean, you could delay construction of the central project.
Sure.
For the next budget year.
Sure.
If you so choose to.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, and there's a certain amount of, you're gonna have both your major cut-throughs in town tore up at the same
Right,
time.
right. That's why I ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, realistically, would it be FY 26? Okay, so yeah, we'll have to know more.
Yep. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Sunshine?
That's what I'm here for, buddy. I'm your little cloud on the parade here.
But my observation of this is that we're not doing new, we're kind of just status quo. And the revenues, we don't expect, and correct me if I'm wrong, are we gonna be at a deficit budget next year? Or how many?
No one knows, but I would venture a guess of yes.
You don't change your ways.
Absolutely. Yep.
And as I look at this, you know, trying to cut spending is, we're doing the essentials.
We're only doing this.
And we're keeping, we're still going ahead with the expected projects, but after we do the Chapel Road overpass, and, you know, we do the stuff on Central, you know, how long we're gonna be in the hole? And I don't expect an answer today, but those are my concerns.
Yep.
Because we're just, revenues are too flat. I mean, inflation's gonna go up.
Well, and we're beholden to sales tax revenue, which is cyclical based on not only local economy, but national economies. I'm concerned about this coming year as it relates to economic activity. I know we talk lightly about property tax and the fact that Monett does not have a property tax and has not since '96, I believe. No one would be surprised to know that I have a spreadsheet, that I had done some projections, and it's a number that would make a difference, for sure. But it's not an easy thing
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, what are the assumptions to get us where we need to be? How much property tax are we talking about?
If we just reinstated the levy that we had at the time of it being repealed, it's a seven-figure number that we would collect.
And I'm trying to get a feel for how much it would affect, and I know it varies.
It would.
You know, what's...
And property values have changed.
What's the mean number for a household?
Yeah, I can get that. I don't have it memorized.
Okay.
It's been a couple
Yeah,
years since
exactly.
I've done it, but
Okay.
it is not a huge impact on the median household. It's not, but it's our commercial district.
What's the median household
Yeah,
appraised value? Okay.
Yeah, I have those.
I would be interested in that.
Yeah, I have Barry County data only. I was not able to get any Lawrence County data. So.
Okay. Good. Mine will raise then.
Would that change the monies that families spend, households spend for property taxes, not property tax, the tax at the end of the year that goes to the county?
That's property taxes. Yes, it would. It would affect the real estate and personal property.
Yeah, which direction?
Higher. Right now it's zero.
Yeah.
You don't pay. You and I, any City of Monett resident, does not pay in your December payment to the county any dollars to the City of Monett.
And my assumption is that's residential and commercial.
That is-
it was
it is,
exempted
that's
from
right.
both.
That is correct.
Okay,
It
yeah.
was in trade for a sales tax.
That's correct.
Is that what so we increased sales tax and
We instituted the sales tax and set the property tax rate to zero. So the property tax still exists for the City of Monett in legal terms. Its rate is
just
zero.
Yeah.
That's me.
And I've also done an analysis on other communities, similar size, similar composition, and many of them have both sales tax and property taxes. So
I think most cities do.
there are a couple in the Barry Lawrence area that do not. So we're not the only. But yeah, it's not an easy topic. It's not one to take lightly, but it proves, right, we are a lean operation. I've said that many times ever since joining the council. We are lean, and if we want to do more for our community, if we want our community to grow, it is going to take more revenue. Minus, you would have to, if we did not have a personal or real estate property tax, we'd have to increase sales taxes.
Ken, do you remember what the levy was? Do you remember what the levy was in '96?
If I don't have an answer, I'll
I'm just curious.
dig up my spreadsheet right now.
It's been a couple days since there was a levy to worry about.
Yeah, if I said a number, it wouldn't be
Yeah.
right, but I'll find it.
I lived in town at the time, but I don't remember it being a lot.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It wasn't much.
There was not much.
And in theory, it could
Hopefully I'll have an
raise
answer before we
up to the
conclude.
ceiling. It doesn't have to be. We could raise it enough to collect $3 million, and that'd be that. We wouldn't have to raise it back to what it used to be.
Let's see. We don't have anything on housing in this budget.
My file won't open. I'll email you the answer.
Okay.
For 96?
That's the last, yeah.
Yeah.
No, the spreadsheet was just a couple years ago. It might be just too large for my iPad.
Imagine that.
It's a large spreadsheet.
And I would say that, I did not estimate on water and sewer with the new rates. I didn't
Yeah,
last
we
year.
got-
So
Right, we-
so there will probably be some additional pilot coming into the general fund and, of course, my numbers are gonna look better revenue-wise than what I got projected there, so.
Right.
Yeah. Well, one of our goals was financial transparency. I may regret that, but no, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
at the city council meeting next week, when we approve this budget, what kind of things are we gonna display? Because this is gonna be hard for the average, kind of like a summary. Okay.
We could do that.
Yeah, we're at a deficit budget. I mean, they gotta get that across. We're getting basic service here. We're doing a couple things. But eventually we're gonna have to make some major muscle movements, so we're not doing a deficit budget every year.
Yes, yes, sir. I can do that.
Sandra, you must feel like the plumber. Every time someone calls a plumber, they're mad.
No, you guys have been great.
So,
They've been very helpful.
all right, well, I'm gonna have a lot of questions, because I'm gonna wanna dig deep in this, so.
Okay.
Because I need to understand all the numbers. Because when we do the second reading, that's when the public is, what are you doing, and what are you doing with the roads? You know, I don't know if that will happen, but we gotta be prepared for that. Yeah, and the number at the golf course, that 500,000, we've gotta be able to describe what we're doing, so that gets better in the future, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, my weekend's ruined. How about your guys? Now, this is something we have to do, all right? Budgets are never fun. You never have enough resources to do whatever you have to. I appreciate the fact that you got with department heads and prioritize stuff. And this is my first budget, and I plan to get a lot smarter before next Thursday, so.
Right.
We'll learn a lot through the year because we're gonna have to watch it tight.
I move that we adjourn to close, not adjourn to closed session, sorry. Go into closed session. And forgive me, I'm not familiar with the items on the closed agenda, so I don't know the reason we're going into closed.
Litigation and personnel.
So for legal and personnel matters, and I'm assuming it's council, city administrator, city clerk.
Correct.
Okay.
Second?
Call the roll.
Mayor,
Yes.
Commissioner King Gasper,
Aye.
Commissioner Darren Indovina. Going straight into